The morning sun painted golden streaks across the worn linoleum floor of Rosie's diner. Mia wiped down the counter with practiced efficiency, her movements a familiar dance after 3 years of morning shifts. The bell above the door jingled, and she looked up, expecting to see one of the regulars. Instead, the entire diner fell silent. A tall man in an impeccably tailored charcoal suit stood in the doorway, his presence commanding immediate attention. Behind him loomed 3 men with earpieces and expressionless faces, their eyes scanning the room with professional vigilance. But it wasn't the bodyguards that made Mia's heart skip. It was the small figure partially hidden behind them. Lily. The shy 12-year-old who had become the highlight of Mia's mornings now looked even smaller than usual, her eyes downcast, fingers nervously twisting the strap of her backpack. "Which one of you is Mia?" The man's voice cut through the silence with the precision of someone accustomed to being obeyed. Mia stepped forward, her throat suddenly dry. "I am." The man studied her for a long moment, his expression unreadable. Then, to everyone's surprise, he extended his hand. "I'm Alexander Hayes, Lily's father. I believe I owe you a debt of gratitude." The murmurs around the diner rose like a wave as recognition dawned on faces. Alexander Hayes, the tech mogul whose company had revolutionized medical software, whose name graced the wing of the children's hospital downtown, whose privacy was legendary. And his daughter had been coming to this diner alone every morning for months. But to understand how we got here, we need to go back to where it all began, on a rainy Tuesday morning 3 months earlier. The first time Mia noticed Lily, the girl had slipped in like a shadow, choosing the booth farthest from the door. Her uniform, navy blazer with an embroidered crest, belonged to Westridge Academy, the prestigious private school across town. But unlike the other Westridge kids who occasionally came in, loud and confident in their privilege, this girl hunched her shoulders as if trying to disappear. "Coffee, hon?" Mia asked, approaching with a pot in hand. The girl startled, eyes wide. No thank you. Just a hot chocolate, please. And maybe toast." Her voice was barely audible, but something in her expression, a mixture of wariness and hope, tugged at Mia's heart. The diner was busy, the morning rush in full swing, but Mia found herself returning to the girls' table more often than necessary, refilling her water, offering extra butter for her toast. When the girl left, Mia noticed she'd arranged her napkin and silverware neatly, and had left a carefully counted tip, coins, and a single dollar bill, as if each cent mattered. The next morning, the girl returned, taking the same booth. This time, Mia brought her hot chocolate without being asked, adding a small swirl of whipped cream on top. "I'm Mia," she said, setting down the mug. The girl's fingers curled around the warm ceramic. "I'm Lily," she whispered, a ghost of a smile crossing her face. It became a routine. Every weekday morning, Lily would arrive at 7:15, order the same modest breakfast, and sit quietly reading or doing homework until 8:30, when she would carefully pack up and leave for school. Mia learned that Lily lived with her father, that her mother had passed away 3 years ago, and that she loved to draw but wasn't allowed to take art classes because they weren't practical. "Dad says I need to focus on things that will help me get into a good college," Lily explained one morning, her voice carrying a rehearsed quality. "Math, science, languages. And what do you want to focus on?" Mia asked, sliding an extra piece of bacon onto Lily's plate when no one was looking. Lily's eyes widened at the question, as if no one had ever asked her that before. I don't know," she admitted. "No one's ever asked me that." Mia understood struggling with expectations. At 28, she'd put her own dreams of becoming a nurse on hold to care for her grandmother after her stroke. The diner job paid the bills, but each passing year made her abandoned ambitions feel more distant. "Well, you've got time to figure it out," Mia assured her. "You're what, 12? Lily nodded. "Then you've got plenty of time to discover what makes your heart happy." Not everyone at the diner understood Mia's interest in the quiet girl. Donna, the senior waitress, rolled her eyes whenever Mia spent extra time at Lily's table. "You're wasting your energy on that one," Donna said one morning as they refilled salt shakers in the back. "Rich kids with fancy backpacks don't need our charity. Did you see those shoes she's wearing? Probably cost more than we make in a week." Mia shrugged. "She's just a kid, Donna. And she seems lonely." "We're not paid to be therapists," Donna sniffed. "And Marcus is getting annoyed that you're spending so much time with her instead of your other tables." Marcus, the floor manager, had indeed been watching Mia with increasing irritation. Later that day, he cornered her by the time clock. "The girl in the corner barely orders enough to justify the table space during rush hour," he said. "And I noticed you're comping extras for her." That stops now. Mia felt her cheeks flush. She's just a child, Marcus. And she always leaves a tip, even though it's probably her lunch money. Not our problem, Marcus said firmly. You've got paying customers waiting while you play mother hen. The criticism stung, but the next morning when Lily arrived, looking particularly tired, her eyes rimmed with shadows, Mia couldn't help herself. She brought over a fresh cinnamon roll along with the hot chocolate. I didn't order that, Lily said, confused. Cook made too many, Mia lied smoothly. It'll just go to waste otherwise. As Lily ate, taking small, appreciative bites, Mia noticed a bruise on her wrist, partially hidden by her sleeve. When she caught Mia looking, Lily quickly tugged the fabric down. I fell during gym, she explained too quickly. I'm really clumsy. The explanation didn't sit right, but Mia didn't push. Instead, she asked about Lily's classes, watching as the girl gradually relaxed, her shoulders lowering from their perpetual hunch. Weeks passed, and their morning ritual deepened. Mia learned that Lily was often alone at home, with her father frequently traveling and a rotating staff of housekeepers who rarely stayed long. She discovered that Lily was brilliant at mathematics but struggled with literature because, as she put it, the characters feel things I don't understand. One rainy morning, the diner was particularly empty. Mia slid into the booth across from Lily, taking her break. Can I ask you something? Lily's voice was hesitant. Why are you so nice to me? The question caught Mia off guard. Why wouldn't I be? Lily's fingers traced patterns in the condensation on her glass. The kids at school say I'm weird, that I don't know how to talk to people. She looked up, her eyes revealing a wisdom beyond her years. And the other waitress, the older one with the red hair, she doesn't like me. Donna doesn't dislike you, Mia said carefully. She just doesn't understand why you come here alone every morning. Dad leaves early, Lily explained. And school doesn't open until 8:45. I used to wait in the car with the driver, but it was so quiet and... She trailed off, then added in a whisper, I like it here. It feels warm. The simple admission made Mia's heart ache. She thought of her own childhood, chaotic and crowded with 3 siblings, never a moment of silence, her mother's laughter filling their small house. How different from Lily's world of quiet luxury and emotional sparseness. Well, I like having you here, Mia said firmly. You brighten my mornings. The smile that bloomed across Lily's face was like watching the sun break through clouds. As autumn deepened into winter, Lily began to bring her schoolwork, occasionally asking Mia for help. Though Mia had never finished her nursing degree, she'd always been good at science, and found herself explaining cellular respiration and photosynthesis during quiet moments between customers. You're really smart, Lily observed one day. Why are you working here? The question wasn't asked with judgment, just genuine curiosity. Mia found herself telling Lily about her grandmother, about putting school on hold, about the way life sometimes took unexpected turns. But don't you mind? Lily pressed. Not doing what you wanted? Mia considered the question. Sometimes, she admitted. But then I remember that life isn't just one path. And taking care of the people we love, that's important too. Lily nodded thoughtfully. My dad says that emotions are inefficient. That success requires focus and discipline. She looked down at her hands. He gets angry when I cry. The statement hung between them, heavy with unspoken implications. Before Mia could respond, the door chimed, and a rush of customers entered, ending their conversation. The following week, Lily arrived at the diner looking devastated. Her eyes were red-rimmed, her movements listless as she slid into her usual booth. What's wrong, sweetheart? Mia asked, setting down a hot chocolate with extra whipped cream. I got a B+ on my math test, Lily whispered. Dad says if I can't maintain perfect grades, he'll hire a full-time tutor, and I won't be allowed to come here anymore. Her voice cracked. He says I'm wasting time that could be spent studying. Mia felt a surge of protective anger. 1B+ doesn't define you, Lily. Everyone has off days. Not in our family, Lily said, her voice small. Excellence isn't optional. It's expected. That afternoon, Mia visited the library after her shift, checking out books on middle school math. That night, between loads of laundry and preparing dinner for her grandmother, she refreshed her knowledge of algebraic equations and geometric principles. The next morning, she slipped Lily a set of flashcards she'd made. 10 minutes of practice each day, she suggested. We can go over any problems you're struggling with. Lily's eyes widened. You did this for me? That's what friends do, Mia said simply. They help each other. For the next few weeks, they established a new routine. Lily would arrive 15 minutes earlier, and Mia would take her break then, helping with homework or just listening as Lily talked about the pressures she faced. The girl began to change subtly, sitting straighter, speaking more confidently, even laughing occasionally at Mia's terrible jokes. Marcus noticed, of course. "You're spinning your breaks with the kid now?" he asked, his tone disapproving. "This isn't a tutoring center, Mia. And I've had complaints from other customers who want your attention." "I'm on my break," Mia pointed out. "What I do with my own time is my business." But the criticism took its toll. Mia began to wonder if she was overstepping, becoming too involved in Lily's life. Was she projecting her own nurturing instincts onto a child who wasn't hers to care for? Her doubts vanished the morning Lily proudly slid a math test across the table, a red A+ circled at the top. "I couldn't have done it without you," Lily said, her smile brighter than Mia had ever seen it. "Yes, you could have," Mia corrected gently. "You're brilliant, Lily. You just needed someone to believe in you." The morning everything changed started like any other. Mia arrived at 6 a.m., tied on her apron, and began the opening routine. But by 7:30, Lily hadn't arrived. By 8 o'clock, Mia found herself watching the door with growing concern. At 8:45, just as Mia was about to call the school to check if Lily was there, the bell above the door jingled. Lily hurried in, her face flushed, eyes darting nervously around the diner. "I can't stay," she said breathlessly, reaching Mia. "Dad found out I've been coming here. One of the security team saw me and reported it." Her hands trembled as she clutched her backpack. "He's furious. Says I've been lying to him." "Lily, it's okay." Mia tried to reassure her. "We can explain." "No, you don't understand," Lily interrupted, her voice rising. "He's coming here. Now. He wants to see who's been—" She broke off, looking miserable. "He thinks you've been influencing me in a detrimental manner." Those were his words. Before Mia could process this, the door swung open. The commanding figure of a man in an expensive suit entered, flanked by 3 stern-faced men who surveyed the diner with professional vigilance. And we're back to where our story began, with Alexander Hayes standing in Rosie's diner, his eyes locked on Mia, the waitress who had shown his daughter kindness. The silence in the diner was absolute as he extended his hand to Mia. "I'm Alexander Hayes, Lily's father. I believe I owe you a debt of gratitude." Mia blinked in confusion. "Gratitude?" Alexander's expression softened slightly. "My daughter's teachers called me yesterday. They've noticed a remarkable change in her these past months. More confidence, better academic performance, even making friends." His gaze shifted to Lily, who stood frozen beside Mia. "When I demanded to know what had changed, she finally told me about coming here. About you." Lily stepped forward, her voice stronger than Mia had ever heard it. "Mia listens to me, Dad. Really listens. She doesn't just want me to be perfect. She wants me to be happy." The vulnerability in Alexander's eyes caught Mia by surprise. "After her mother died, I thought the best thing I could do was ensure Lily's future. Excellence, achievement, success." He sighed. "I forgot about her present. About what a 12-year-old girl actually needs." He turned to address the diner at large, his voice carrying. "My security team has been trying to figure out for weeks why my daughter insisted on leaving for school an hour early. I imagined all sorts of dangers." A rueful smile touched his lips. "Instead, she was sitting in a diner, drinking hot chocolate and finding the mothering I failed to provide." Donna, who had been watching the scene unfold with wide eyes, stepped forward. "She's a good kid," she said, surprising Mia. "Quiet, but always polite. Leaves everything neat as a pin." Marcus emerged from the kitchen, looking between Alexander and Mia with bewilderment. "Your daughter is welcome here anytime, Mr. Hayes," he said, his earlier complaints apparently forgotten. Alexander nodded, then turned back to Mia. "I understand you're studying to be a nurse?" Mia shook her head. "I was. But my grandmother needed care, and you put your dreams on hold to help someone you love," he finished. "Lily told me." He reached into his jacket and produced a business card. "The Hayes Foundation funds scholarships for healthcare workers. I'd like you to apply. Full tuition, living expenses, and arrangements for your grandmother's care." Mia stared at the card, unable to comprehend what was happening. "I don't understand." "You showed my daughter kindness when I was showing her only expectations," Alexander said simply. "You reminded her that she matters as a person, not just as an achievement. That's a gift I can never repay." Lily stepped forward, slipping her hand into Mia's. "See? I told you helping others always comes back to you." In the weeks that followed, Rosie's diner saw many changes. Alexander Hayes became a regular, joining his daughter for breakfast 3 mornings a week. The booth where Lily had sat alone became known as the homework corner, where other students began to gather, with Mia occasionally helping with science questions between serving customers. Mia applied for and received the Hayes Foundation Scholarship, arranging her classes around her grandmother's care. Alexander hired one of his company's retired executives, a grandmother herself, to sit with Mia's grandmother during classes, creating a friendship that enriched both women's lives. And Lily blossomed. With her father's blessing, she enrolled in art classes, her mathematical precision blending beautifully with her emerging creativity. She still came to the diner every morning, but now she entered with her head held high, greeting the staff by name. One quiet morning, as Mia refilled Lily's hot chocolate, the girl looked up with those wise eyes that had first captured Mia's heart. "Do you think people can tell when they're changing someone's life?" she asked. "Or does it just feel like ordinary kindness at the time?" Mia considered the question, thinking of all the small moments that had led them here: a hot chocolate with extra whipped cream, handmade flashcards, a listening ear during a quiet morning shift. "I think that's the magic of kindness," she answered finally. "You never know which small act might change everything for someone else." Lily nodded thoughtfully. "Then I guess we should be kind all the time, just in case." Mia smiled, looking around the diner, at Donna showing a new young customer how to properly fold napkins, at Marcus clearing a larger space for the students who now gathered at the homework corner, at the community that had formed around one simple decision to notice a lonely child. "Yes," she agreed, "I think we should."